Yeah. They're pretty happy with everything, so I don't see why we wouldn't. But until they say yes.
Yep. Nothing you could do.
Yep.
I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy. That was Jimmy Bellamy that did that, and he's with me here this morning. Mr. Bellamy, how are you?
I'm good. I'm still waiting on my royalty checks from that song, though.
Yeah, well, they'll be coming. Just like, Tom Reed comes in here on Thursdays. He's still waiting on a paycheck, and being the sales guy that I am, I just keep saying, it'll be there. Just, keep looking in the mail every day.
Right. Well, can I maybe get it in Bitcoin?
If you'd like that, yeah,
Cool.
Sure. Not a problem whatsoever.
I don't even know what Bitcoin is. I just hear people talking about it.
Well, it's a very expensive
Cryptocurrency.
worthless piece of junk right now. How's that? Warren Buffett. I saw Warren Buffett the other day. Good morning, everybody. We've opened the doors to the dome. Jim Bellamy's here. We're talking. You just got in the middle of it. So, basically, you're in our way. We're not in your way here this morning, but that's okay. We're here to have a little fun and talk about Northwest State Community College. Warren Buffett over the weekend had his big... They take all of the geniuses in his staff and they go out to Omaha, his hometown where his headquarters are, and they bring all of their stockholders in. They have a big deal. And Warren and his 94-year-old business associate, the two of them that put this all together, both of them said it's crap. I mean, they didn't even hedge. That's where it's going to go. But right now, nobody knows what it's going to be, which one it's going to be, how you're going to deal with it. And yet, some of these stocks are worth, $5,000 a share.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just like the dot-com bubble.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, the dot-com bubble burst, and then all the people have sunk all that money into, the dot-com. I think cryptocurrency is just another one of those commodities, those unproven commodities that, you have Amazon that doesn't carry any, there was that statistic, like the world's largest retailer doesn't have any inventory.
Yeah.
You have
right.
Airbnb, and you have, what's the car one? Not Lyft, but...
You're asking the wrong guy because my memory banks are bad. They're horrible.
Courtney can come in and yell it at me.
Yeah. Uber.
Uber, there you go.
Uber.
Yeah. Yeah, Uber doesn't technically have any cars or employ any, and it's any drivers. Technically, they're all independent contractors, something like that. So, there are exceptions to the rule, but I look at cryptocurrency jokingly, kind of, and I have a friend who's a big advocate for it in New York. But I look at it kind of as in the same vein as the .com stuff.
Yeah.
When people invested a lot in it and then they lost their shirts on it because the .com bubble burst and the value got too high, and then I think people, by and large, started paying closer attention to it and realized what is actually there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they saw, I don't know.
Well, yeah.
And if you can't quantify it and you're just going, off of what people are telling you, just trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me isn't really, the best investment strategy in the world. So you've tuned into investment time here on Q96.5.
Exactly. Well, I think we all agree that the world's going to change, and one of these days probably there will not be a paper dollar bill you're going to hand to somebody. I can understand that and see that, but
there'll still be the leave a penny, take a penny jar. Though.
Okay, well, that's the important.
Those things will last forever.
Thank goodness. Thank you. Boy, you know what? That has bothered me now for almost 40 years, and I can now go and be fruitful and move on into the world. Jimmy, thank you for stopping by. You've done your deed for the day. You've totally changed my life. I'm going to go out and look for some sort of enlightenment, I think.
NSCC proud. There you go. Hash brown NSCC proud.
Hey, this is always the time that we do our schools program on the first hour of a Tuesday morning. when I'm the sharpest of the week, obviously, as you can tell right now. And
sharp as a butter knife.
And you have probably about the busiest schedule that I've seen in a long time of anybody, because the last couple of weeks leading up to graduation and through graduation at NSCC is unbelievable.
Yeah, we had the job fair recently where we had almost 100 employers and 250 people coming through, speaking with those employers. And then a few days later, the maintenance team at the college that does just a tremendous job, Tim Nelson and his team, they turned the entire atrium around and set it up for a scholarship night. And it was 2 days later, literally.
Yeah.
And they gave away over $600,000 in scholarships to a record number of students. And then, you know, here you are a couple weeks later, and we're looking at commencement. It's coming up this Saturday, and as part of commencement, you have the Distinguished Alumni Luncheon that happens just prior. And then you have the Green Carpet event, which is a major fundraiser for our foundation. And that's taking place coming up on, I believe, the 17th. And so, you know, within that 1 month period there, you have just 4 gigantic events, really 5 if you include the Distinguished Alumni. And it just goes to show how busy we are. And that doesn't even, you know, touch on things like the All-Ohio Academic Team. You know, recently we had 4 students named to that. And we have the PTK and the KBD, Kappa Beta Delta, Phi Theta Kappa. You know, we have the Nursing Honor Society, Alpha Delta Nu, and they're getting ready to do a pinning. You know, medical assisting and phlebotomy just did a pinning for their graduates. You know, we had 100% passage rate with our December nursing cohort.
Wow.
You know, 100% of our law enforcement students just passed their firearms test. And then, you know, we had another 100% group coming up, I think, in our early childhood education. And so it's just, you know, there's so many things going on. And I was talking with Dr. Thompson the other day. We were emailing back and forth. And I was saying something about, you know, how it's just an incredibly busy time of the year for good news.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And he said that in his heart, he's seeing that as kind of being more of a consistent going forward.
Yeah.
Not just a, you know, hey, the month of April and the month of May is, wow, there's a lot of good stuff going on. That you really start to believe that there's going to be a lot of good stuff going on for a long time.
Yeah, I would agree. Is it difficult? I shouldn't. That's probably not a good adjective. It's got to be unique at this point in time to have a new president. I mean, obviously, it's almost like the changing of the calendar, where we all write the last year down on our checks for about 3 weeks. Right. To say Dr. Thompson and to think about having a new leader at the top is exciting, I would think, but also at the same time, it's a little unique to not have Dr. Stuckey there on campus too.
Well, Dr. Stuckey actually, he is there on campus.
Okay.
He's the one of the recent board meetings. His title is officially changed to Special Assistant to the President.
Oh, wow.
And his contract technically runs through June 30, so he's
Okay.
staying on campus through June 30. He moved his office upstairs, A-wing, and you know, he's still a very integral part of what's going on at the campus as well. He wanted to make sure that there was a good transition for Dr. Thompson to give him all the information that he needed. Mm-hmm. Dr. Thompson, you know, as you know, anybody does who moves into a new office, kind of set it up his way a little bit, so you know, changed a little bit around. And then you know, Dr. Stuckey has his office upstairs, and they both, you know, communicate on a pretty regular basis. It's kind of cool, actually. It's different. Mm-hmm. Having you know, basically 2 presidents on campus, but there's also, that means that there's a lot of experience and a lot of opportunity to talk with, you know, not just one, but you know, 2 people, you know, when you want to get some good perspective on things, and you know, how should I proceed with this? And you know, of course, Dr. Stuckey's going to defer to Dr. Thompson now that Dr. Thompson's officially president. But you know, having a new president on campus, really, what that means for me and what that means for us is, it's kind of a a newfound energy too.
Yeah.
You have a person who's a first-time president of a college. Now he was a campus president at Tri-C in the Cleveland area, but now he's a first-time president of a college, and so naturally there's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, and there's a lot of things on the to-do list that he wants to make an immediate and also a long-term impact.
Yeah.
And so you kind of pick up on that energy, that excitement, and it makes you want to run a little bit faster. You want to work just a little bit harder. You want to give just a little bit more. And I think you're feeling that all across campus. And this is a busy time of year, so it's good that you get that little energy burst because, boy, we need it.
No doubt about that.
There's a lot going on.
No doubt about that. Jim Bellamy is my guest here for the first hour in the queue today. We're talking about Northwest State Community College. And when we come back from paying the bills, we'll talk a little bit more about what's going on over in the Archibald campus right here on the Q 96.5 FM.
Good morning. I'm Gail King with today's Eye Opener, Your World in 60 Seconds. Presented by
27 minutes now after the hour as we open up a Tuesday in our education program. Jim Bellamy, my guest right now with Northwest State Community College. NSCC, I think most people are starting to grab a hold of that abbreviation and understand that.
Don't throw the W in there.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly. Just throw the NSCC in there and don't worry about it. Yep.
There you go. Fly the W if you're a Cubs fan.
There you
But
go.
other than that, we're just NSCC.
I love it, man. I love it. Let's kind of take these things by individual event and break them down just a little bit. How's that? Graduation for you guys this year. We'll start with that one. That's always the big one. A lot of folks have already graduated. How many folks coming out of NSCC this year? And tell me the story.
Well in excess over 200. Commencement ceremony is at 2 o'clock this Saturday, May 12th. And we expect a lot of people in the parking lot outside. And the weather is, knock wood, going to be pretty nice. And so we love having those outdoor commencement ceremonies. Certainly allows, because of that graduating class size, like I said, well in excess of 200 people, it allows for everything to happen at once. If you get bad weather when you get a graduating class of that size, then they have to do 2 separate commencement ceremonies with a short break in between them. You have to go through the whole procession again.
Sure.
And then you do specific academic divisions for one, and then the other academic divisions for the second commencement. So, we're hoping for good weather, but it's always, it's really a culmination of a lot of hard work and sacrifice by the students. And we're really proud of the accomplishments that they've made already, and the ones that they're about to make in their careers. And so, it's an awesome celebration day. It's a long day, but it's a good day.
Sure.
And like I said, it starts at 2 o'clock. And one of the cool things that we're doing, we started it last spring, didn't really advertise as much because it was a test, and then we started promoting it more in the fall, is that we do a free live stream on the college's official YouTube page.
Okay.
And that's for, friends and family who are out of town, maybe in different parts of the country, and they're just not able to make it to Northwest Ohio for commencement that day. Now, wherever they are around the country, around the world, they can watch their son, daughter, friend, family member graduate, and they don't have to miss that. And that's one of those things I was really advocating for. You and I do web stream. We've been doing it for many years.
Yes.
And there's such a power in being able to provide that type of event, that type of situation to a friend or a family member who is in a different part of the country who otherwise couldn't make it.
Yeah.
You'd love to be able to share those things with those people. And so the ability to do those free live streams, that'll be hopefully a regular thing that we do going forward. So if not able to make it, you can enjoy the commencement on our official YouTube page. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome day.
That's going to be a lot of fun, no doubt. Any breakdowns as to percentages of where these graduates come from? How many from Northwest Ohio? How many from outside of the Northwest Ohio? You guys probably, if you had the right person here, could give me county by county, city by city, I'm sure. But just a general overview of how that breaks down.
I'm trying to think of the list that I received of the graduates from Cary and in Lori Robinson's office, the Vice President of Academics. The overwhelming majority are from Northwest Ohio.
Sure.
Mostly from the northern 4 counties of our 6-county area, Paulding County and Van Wert County in our 6-county area, because we had a facility in Van Wert that was specifically for nursing, and unfortunately that closed a year or so ago. The overwhelming majority of the students are from the northern 4 counties. You do get some students who do online, and then some are through our workforce. And so you get some that come from different states, which if you look at the list, sometimes that's it makes you smile a little bit to see, a graduate from Virginia, or a graduate from, North Dakota or something like that. And you think, okay, it's kind of out of our service area a little bit. I don't, even know what the newspaper is in that town in Chantilly, Virginia, or in North Dakota or whatever. But it just goes to show the impact and the reach that our team has when they go out and they look for, secondary education opportunities. And, people in the and you and I talk about this a lot, people in the workforce who come in at entry-level positions and they want to train up. They need that flexible opportunity to be able to do that. And, we have a great team, not only with our custom training solutions, but also some of our adult education employees there. They do a great job of going out and identifying the companies and then the individuals, whether they're local or they're from out of state, that are looking for, those opportunities to get that hands-on training and education to better their situation and help their employer too. And so you get graduates, really from all over the country, which is really cool when you stop and think about it for, a small community college in rural Northwest Ohio.
Yeah, and no, it really is. Another thing that really stands out for a rural college in Northwest Ohio are the number of dollars that you quoted here a little while ago for the scholarships that were awarded the other night. There's a whole lot of loot that got handed out for folks to hire improve their education.
Yeah, over $600,000 by comparison. Last year, I think it was 409.
Okay,
which was a record in and of itself, and it was a record number of students last year. And this year, almost $200,000 more. And really, what that speaks
did that come from the James Bellamy Fund for Higher Education?
No.
Okay, sorry about that.
No.
Yeah, I couldn't, if you're listening right now, Jim Bellamy's with me right now from Northwest State NSCC, and he and I go back a long way. So if we get off track every now and then, forgive us. It's just the way that we relate to one another.
Yep. And when the microphones turn off and we're standing in the hall outside, we're having the same conversation we're having right now. The funds that go into the scholarship, of course, part of it, as I mentioned before, with the green carpet event, the big fundraiser,
sure,
that does bring in a significant amount of money, but it is nowhere near the total amount of money that we give out. So, part of those foundation scholarships come from, trusts and estates and things like that. And Robin Wilcox does just an unbelievable job of networking, meeting people, discovering opportunities, and getting people to reciprocate to the college the value that they've seen throughout their lives and how it's impacted them, and encouraging them to pay it forward to the next generations of students. But also it has to do with our foundation board and the excellent job they do in investments. They do just a tremendous job. Doug Bernath in particular, who works, I think, at Freedom Financial Solutions, I think. If I got that wrong, Doug, I apologize. But another alum of the college. And he and some other folks there just do a tremendous job of looking at the assets that the foundation has, investing those, and being able to reinvest the dividends into scholarships too. So, it's not just about constantly going out and looking for new, money sources, revenue sources for the foundation for scholarships, but it's also taking care of the money that you have, the assets that you have. And man, we're getting back into the Bitcoin conversation.
Yeah, isn't it amazing? Yeah, no doubt.
Money Talks on Q96.5. But I mean, it's really a team effort. And really, when you look at scholarship night, the focus that night, as it should be, is on the students. It's on their hopes and their dreams and their opportunity to, accomplish some great things. But you also have to, I'd be doing the college a disservice and its volunteers if I didn't look behind the curtain a little bit and realize what makes it possible to hand out $600,000.
Sure.
And that is really kind of behind the scenes a big part of why is it's a group that diligently looks at its assets and its finances. It looks at its investments, and it makes the right decisions, the right fiduciary decisions to be able to hand out that much money. So, Amber Yoakum in our financial aid department and Robin Wilcox in our foundation, they work together. they get to, share the fruits of that labor. But it really, a lot of it wouldn't be possible without the work of those volunteers behind the scenes who do such a great job with the money.
Yeah, well, it is a blessing for a number of students. What percentage of the folks attending the college will part of that? Will get a little taste of that $600,000 in a scholarship or some sort of financial help?
Wow.
I'm asking you the tough ones today, Bellamy. You
Yeah,
are the PR guy, you know what I mean?
You're really grilling me.
You're it's a situation. It's a growth and a learning situation for you. I'm trying to help you, So when your time comes to be the next president of the college, you'll be ready.
Over 300 students received financial assistance that night, and
Man,
granted,
you're good.
those are just foundation scholarships. So
Sure.
the college also awards presidential and honors scholarships, which those are not part of scholarship night. That's just the foundation scholarships that are handed out.
Wow.
So if you look at, I'd have to look at what the overall heads are currently at the college.
But you know what? That's an amazing number. If you're going to graduate 200 plus, and you're giving scholarships out to 300 plus, that's a positive. You know what I mean?
Very much.
That means that either you have more heads coming than you had last time when this group went through at that point, or that plus other folks who are already involved with you are standing to have a little financial aid and be able to help them achieve their goals at a very affordable price.
Well, the need never stops.
Sure.
That's the most important part. And we never want finances to be the reason that somebody doesn't pursue an education. And, Northwest State has great education, and it still has, it's really the best value in education. You look at what the tuition rate is, still $157.33. That'll change in the fall. I think it'll go up $10, so $167.33. But still, when you compare it to the 4-year institutions, it's a third to a fifth of the cost. So we look at it in those terms and we think, boy, almost everybody could afford college at that point. But the truth is that not everybody can afford college. And, you have a lot of people who are working, say, 2 part-time jobs, trying to make it on their own. They have bills to pay, they have families to support, and college is one of those things that a lot of people need, but you still can't make it happen. So things like the scholarship night hopefully will remove that barrier to education for a lot of people and say, okay, you want to do it, we want to help you, let's make it happen.
Yeah. Somebody that's listening maybe right now that would like to donate somehow, maybe they do have a trust that just came up and they are wondering what to do with some of that money. Who and how do they contact somebody at the school?
I would get a hold of Robin Wilcox at the school. I would just give them the main number. I'm trying to remember her direct office dial off the top of my head, but
call the front desk, ask for Robin Wilcox.
Yep, 419-267-5511, or go to northweststate.edu, and you can look up the alumni tab, and you can find information on the foundation. We just started doing a newsletter for alumni. I think that we're working on our 3rd one right now. And you can look at the past issues of that as well to kind of see, what's been going on at the college, things that are coming up, and a way to stay connected. And so, we'll do an NSCC Proud Day coming up in June, and that's always pretty cool. You get an opportunity to connect with alumni from different parts of the country, and it's fun on social media. They'll send pictures of them wearing their Northwest State gear from the workplace or from hello, this just in. They'll send them from vacation. We had one couple, this Northwest State graduate, they were getting married, and they had their shirts on, and they had the family had shirts on, and they were at a beach. It was really cool.
Yes, it sounds like.
And so just a fun way to connect. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Jim Bellamy is my guest right now from Northwest State Community College. And we'll talk a little more about the school as our school's program continues on this Tuesday morning. It's 19 minutes now before 10 o'clock on the Q, 96.5 FM. Jim Bellamy, my guest, as we wrap up this hour for the schools program on this Tuesday. We're going to take a little break as the summertime rolls along and get back at this. But we had good comments from a number of people about wanting to hear and learn more about the schools and be able to spend the time that we do to chat about these things. And I got a text off air, Jim, that I think sums up your operation. Dwayne Hancock, who comes in here and does a Monday racing program with me, has a Napa store here in town, texted me, I'm listening, I'm a Northwest graduate myself, okay? And then kind of laugh out loud. Well, there are an awful lot of folks who are very critical to this area because, just because you're not the mayor of the city of Bryan or the president of Spangler Candy Company, I mean, everybody around here has what they need to do every day. And thanks to what Dwayne did over at your facility, he now is a partner in the business, is growing the business, is succeeding, and I think at times we lose track in this world as to what's really important. I mean, to be able to, our grandparents, my grandparents especially, all they wanted was a good life where they made a living, they could afford the lifestyle that they wanted, they could raise their kids in the right way, they could pay their bills, they could at least have some time when they weren't working really hard to have some fun and enjoyment and vacations here or there and enjoy what their life was all about. And that's the root to what you guys are doing over there, really.
Yeah, I think that, it's funny that you mentioned, you don't have to be the mayor of Bryan. Well, the mayor of Bryan, Carrie Slade, is a Northwest State graduate.
There you go. Name dropper.
But just so happened.
Well, Steve Casebeer, the utility director, when I worked for the utility, was a Northwest grad.
Distinguished alum, too, yeah.
Yeah, so as you go around this area and you look at a number of businesses, that there are a number that have had very prominent roles. But there's an awful lot of folks who just get up and go to work every day and do what they want to do and are very successful at that as well,
And and the commonality is, whether you're looking for, just something to help you improve your current work situation, or if you're looking for a 4-year degree down the road, Northwest State can be part of the answer pretty much regardless of what your plans are. So, a lot of people are talking about, wanting or needing a bachelor's or master's degree to get ultimately career-wise what they want to get. But you can still get your gen eds at Northwest State, stay local for a couple years, and save your parents tens of thousands of dollars
you bet.
On tuition and not sacrifice the quality of your education. You can still transfer those credits to Ohio State or to Miami or to wherever.
Sure.
And, start as a junior level student, be ready for your 300 and 400 level classes, and, probably be even better prepared than those students who spent the first 2 years at those colleges or universities. You still integrate into the housing. You still, get to enjoy all the amenities when you go to the 4-year school. But you're not, and you hear this a lot in the news, you're not saddled with all of the student loan debt, the financial situation that a lot of people face when they spend all 4 years at a 4-year institution. So, why not Northwest State?
Sure.
Look at that as an option for your first 2 years and, make it part of the education path.
No doubt. Summertime will hit. What happens at the facility during the break when the vast majority of the students are off? I know things continue on, though, through summer.
Yeah, I have a summer semester that starts, and, there isn't really a whole lot of a break for us. Really, because, it's in some ways, it's a lot like retail. Education is a lot like retail, that you have to look at the next season, the next semester. So, we've been working, really hard promoting, summer and fall for a while, and getting everything ready for fall. And fall semester will also kind of serve as a de facto kickoff for our 50th anniversary. The college, 4-County Technical Institute, was licensed in 68.
Wow.
Held its first class in 69, graduated its first group in 71. So fall of 18 is really our 2018-19 school year. So, we'll start looking at the kickoff of a 50th anniversary, and that'll run for a good year. all through commencement and probably beyond that of 19. And so, we're already talking about, 50th anniversary plans. President Thompson's going to do, a convocation, at the beginning of fall, just to kind of kick off some certain things. And, we've been talking with students and with board members and community members and staff and faculty about, identifying, what areas we want to, really make as our, priority focuses. And so we're getting feedback from everybody, and we're going to go out into the community and talk with the businesses and, reestablish, what are your needs and your priorities. We want to make sure that we align with those. So there's never really a break. It's always, looking ahead and how can we prepare, the next semester and the semester after that, just to continue to provide the best service possible to the area.
Yeah, well, you guys are doing wonderful things, wonderful work. I know the good news is summer gives you an extra day, so you and I can go out and swat a little white golf ball into the bushes a little more often.
Yep, that'll work.
That's a plus. And
yes.
I always like summer. I took summer classes at OU one time. I enjoyed the heck out of that. That was it was a little more hands-on. The student to faculty member numbers were considerably less there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you had just a handful in a class with a professor, which was good. Generally, only did a couple days a week, so that gave you that extra day or two to go out and swat a little white golf ball around into the bushes down in Athens, Ohio, and nothing has changed in almost 40 years. How's that?
The little white golf ball still finds its way into the field or to the bushes. At least it does for me. I'm one of those people, and you know this from playing golf with me, that I can hit it in the fairway and not find it. That's not fair.
That isn't fair. I agree 100%.
I've lost at least a handful that way, hitting them right down the middle, and then I can't find them when I go look. So.
Well,
starting next Monday, the college is going to summer hours scheduled to go through July 30th. So we're open Monday through Thursday, and then we're closed on Fridays. And then starting on July 31st or August 1st, whatever that Monday is, I assume, we'll go back to our regular Monday through Friday schedule.
Fantastic. Jim Bellamy, my guest here. Before I let you go, let's go right back through that busy week that you're going to have here, a couple weeks you got coming up. Graduation this week, and then give me the entire agenda again one more time.
Yeah, we have a Distinguished Alumni Luncheon, which precedes the commencement this Saturday. Mm-hmm. And before we go, I want to make sure I make the official announcement of the Distinguished Alumni winners.
Oh, okay, good.
Because I've actually been kind of holding on to this one as a world premiere for the Dome here on Q96.5.
Ratings are going through the roof right now, Jimmy. Thank you very much.
Commencement's at 2 o'clock, and again, there's a live stream on our YouTube channel for guests who are unable to attend. And then next Thursday is our green carpet fundraiser event. That's Denim and Diamonds is the theme.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I imagine that tickets are probably still available. You can go to northweststate.edu and just type in green carpet event, and the page will pop up with the 2018 information. But without further ado,
all right, man, let's break the news right here, live and direct.
And I turned my phone on to airplane mode, so I didn't get that text beep that would have given us the breaking news sound effect. We are pleased to announce the 4 alumni who have been chosen to receive the 2018 Distinguished Alumni Award. First is Todd Greiser. He's a 1980 graduate, graduated with an Associate of Technical Studies in Pre-Mortuary Science. We for that. He is a 5th-generation funeral director and owner of Greiser Funeral Homes in Archibald, Delta, Stryker, and Wauseon. Also, Danielle Spring was a 1998 graduate with an Associate of Applied Science degree in nursing. She went on to earn a bachelor's from Defiance and a master's from Indiana Wesleyan. She is employed at Wood County Hospital in Bowling Green and was recently promoted to the position of Director of Nursing Education. Anna Truby, a 2008 graduate with an Associate of Applied Science degree in nursing, went on to get a bachelor's and master's, family nurse practitioner at Chamberlain College of Nursing. She's a certified family nurse practitioner for the community hospitals and wellness centers in Archibald. And finally, Jeanette Wagner was a 1998 graduate with an Associate of Applied Business degree in accounting. She continued her education at Defiance and got a Bachelor of Science, as well as a Master of Business and Organizational Leadership in 2007, and a Master of Business Administration in 2009. She's currently the Chief Financial Officer for Alex Products. So,
Oh, wow.
Todd Greiser, Danielle Spring, Anna Truby, and Jeanette Wagner are our 2018 Distinguished Alumni Award winners.
Fantastic. And, man, I appreciate your announcing that right here. That's great.
You get the exclusive.
I'll tell you what, that's why we get paid the big dollars around here, Jim. No doubt about that.
I saw that car that you showed me.
Yeah.
It's obvious you do get paid big bucks around.
You know, it is. I've got a wife who has a lot of money. How's that? That's the important part.
Good man, Jim Funderburg. Good man.
It'll be a whole lot of fun. Jim, have a great summer. We'll get back with our regular programs again when the fall hits. I think August was our target, or somewhere in that ballpark, to start up the education programs. I sure appreciate all the things that we do throughout the year, the folks that you send over, the people that I get to meet, and the enlightenment that I receive, because I think everybody knows that your facility is sitting over there in Archbold, and it's a beautiful spot, and a lot of people go through it, and there's a great education coming out of it. But really, when they get down to the nuts and bolts, without introducing them to some of the folks that we get a chance to do, it's just a big old brick building with a lot of glass. You know?
Yeah, I think that people expect, maybe a handful of people at the college, myself included, to be the ones who come out and do, radio shows and newspaper interviews and things like that. But I think where you really start to learn about the really interesting and unique stories about what goes on is when you start talking to the people who interact with the students and with the business partners and the community leaders on a consistent basis. When you look at, like, you had Brad Gear on, for example, who did the prior learning. That's just one of the unsung heroes of the college. You get so many people who have experience, but it maybe isn't, college coursework.
Yes.
And, how can I take that experience? How can I turn it into, education path and a degree, and to help me get, the career opportunity with the family sustaining wage that I want? And so, you just get all these really neat stories, that you can see the effect that these people have on a day-to-day basis with students, with community members, and that's the foundation of what Northwest State is. It's connecting with individuals. It's building up families. It's improving the businesses, and making better communities. And so we're happy to do this show and to bring those stories to life, and we certainly look forward to doing it again next year.
Sounds good. Jim Bellamy, my guest. We will be golfing together and hopefully doing some college football together here shortly again. Always great having you. Thanks for all the great things that you do and all the good work. That'll wrap up our program for today. Our education program will last for the next couple of weeks. We'll talk a little more about high schools, Defiance College, and then we'll wrap it up until the fall season. But right now, back into a classic hits on this Tuesday morning, 9:57 on the Q, 96.5 FM.